Right, these two might just be the best, most natural strike partnership ever seen in England.
We were scoring goals for fun, you know, we were terrorising all the teams in Europe.
Their chemistry and goals fired Manchester United to an incredible treble in '99.
I mean, I celebrated for about four weeks, I have to be honest, a little bit more maybe.
And what happened off the field as well as on it.
Any questions to anyone that asks me, it'll go through Yorkie to ask me. You know, 9 times out of 10 I'll just grunt at him.
You are going to want to stick around for this one.
So you've just won the final game of the Premiership season, beaten Spurs. Was there ever any thought, are you allowed to talk about the possibility of a treble?
No, none whatsoever. I think we always set the season out, well, the manager always set the season out for us, like, to be the best team after 38 games. Anything after that's a bonus. So for us to win the league the way we won it, obviously Arsenal pushed us all the way as well. We were just buzzing that we won the league.
Andy, just how intense was that rivalry with Arsenal? I think back to it, it's that for me is Premier League at its pomp. That is the prop. That's what we want to see on our TVs, isn't it?
Every game, home, away, intensity, the rivalry was special. Like I said, we always used to look forward to the Liverpool game anyway. I mean, that's 2 clubs steeped in great history and tradition. But the Arsenal rivalry was special. It was real special. I'm sitting there thinking about them games. At any stage, either team could win the game, you know, because there's so much quality on the pitch. And that ran for many, many years because Arsenal always pushed us, you know. Also fortunate to have the invincible year, you know, when it went on an unbelievable run. And then we did what we did. So many people have asked the question, who's a better team? I'll have to admit we are. You know?
David, during that treble-winning season, can you pinpoint one moment, it could be a victory, a forward, even a goal, where you felt it's going to be a special season, this?
Not really, in all honesty. I mean, for me, one of the most special games, which is probably not the most obvious game to pick throughout that season, was the opening day at Old Trafford against Leicester. We were 2-1 down. I scored the goal to draw the game. And obviously it was a big season for me coming off in '98. But to see the reaction of the players, the fans, the manager after that, to me, you know, that was the moment where I realised I had a family behind me.
I think it'd have to be the semi-final against Arsenal when obviously penalty got given away, missed the penalty, Roy got sent off. That game, it's a shout to me like...
You didn't miss the penalty. You didn't miss the penalty, all right? Save the goalkeeping club, missed the penalty. And yeah, I think that was the big momentum turn because they were favourites. Then when Roy got sent off, it just all generated from there. And when we didn't really believe that was still going to happen, if we're honest. I think looking back at it now, that's when the change of direction went all our way and we're getting all the little bits of luck that you need to do something like this.
When I look at that team sheet, that squad, big names, absolutely everywhere. By all accounts as well, not everybody got on, not everybody clicked. Can you remember anything in particular? Was it always sort of happy plain sailing, or was there times where it was a bit uncomfortable?
For me, it was happy plain sailing for me. I don't know what else was going on. I embraced being at United. It really was, you know, being my first year and finding myself in such a wonderful position, playing football, scoring, enjoying winning football matches on a regular basis. And of course, you know, there was big names and big personality in the dressing room, which you need to be champions. You know, you got to have that. How the manager handled that, you know, as I said, it was my first year, so I was relatively new to all this kind of uproar in the dressing rooms and personality. You know, I just think everybody knows where the word in goal are and where they position as to their rank in the squad or whatever. I never had those issues because I just got on well with everyone, and anyone could tell you that that was the kind of the heartbeat, the person to go to if you need a little bit of fun and joy. I came in with a huge smile and I played that way. That wasn't like, you know, that's ingrained in my personality. And so I enjoy those moments. I only hear these stories at the end of all of it. You know, believe it or not, it took me 1.5 years to really realize who wasn't getting on well with each other. It really was, because I was in such I was having an unbelievable experience, and so
Just blind to it all.
yeah, it didn't.
Yorke was in his own world.
Yeah,
man.
I was in my own world. It really was, and people probably don't believe that. It's only just maybe into my second year, I'm finding out that people didn't get on well. Like, what? Where was this before? But yeah, it didn't affect us certainly, which was the most important thing on the football pitch. From my experience being in that dressing room, that's what was really amazing about the team. Everyone knows where they stood, and but ultimately when we go on the football pitch, we all in one common goal, which was to represent Manchester United Football Club and certainly win football matches, which we did.
Is that what it was, Andy? Is it when you're on the pitch, you do your job, you know what's expected of you. But off the pitch is bound to be occasions where you're not going to get on with people. In the documentary, there's a part where you speak about when you make your England debut, Teddy Sheringham doesn't shake your hand.
Yeah.
But that sort of stuff goes on quite a lot, doesn't it? It's just that people, I think they like to see that everybody gets on, it's all rosy. Yeah. It's not always the way, though.
It can't be. See, the way I look at it is, if you take football out of the equation, if you're a 9 to 5, you're not going to get on well with everyone in the office. You know about your professionals. And that's what I've always said, I'm a professional. Once I cross the white line, if I talk to you, I don't talk to you. If we cross the white line, we're out here to win. Now, once the game's finished and we cross the white line, let's get back to normal. And that's the way I viewed things. For me, when Yorke come, things changed a lot, because in that dressing room, of course, everyone's got an ego, because you need to have an ego when you're playing football. And Yorke come, he cut the dressing room, with his temperament and his smile and his energy, and the dressing room kind of like simmered out a little bit. And in the end, he was kind of like, he was the middleman.
The glue.
Yeah, he was the middleman, especially because everyone knew I didn't speak to Teddy, but Yorke was always the middleman. So if there's any questions Teddy wanted to ask me, he'll go through Yorke to ask me. And 9 times out of 10, I'll just grunt at him. Because I said, look, don't get him to be asking you questions here. I mean, just leave it the way it is. Because I just got on with it. I mean, for me, look, if I don't talk to anyone, I don't talk to you. I don't really care. And that was my mentality. So when Yorke kept saying to me, Coley, Teddy said X, Y, Z. I said, Yorke, tell him to do one. And they'll start laughing and they'll go back and say, Ted Coley said do one. And that's what it was like, But like I said, I think once we crossed the white line, it was totally, totally different. You're out there to win as a team, and the mentality was, we all win together, we all lose together. But for me, I've always said it's the best dressing room I've ever been in because everyone brought into it. Everyone wanted the best from each another, and that's why it was such a good dressing room and such an unbelievable team.
You had to be strong.
Yeah.
You couldn't be a weak person. You're not picked on, but you get run over if you don't stand your ground. And I think everyone understood that. And I think that was something that I learned very quickly in the dressing room when I got there. The manager was a focal point in managing those circumstances. If he get out of hand, and occasionally he probably did, but got it under control very quickly.
Right, Teddy, is there one moment that stands out for you from that treble-winning season? One moment, one special moment, a victory, could be a performance.
Just got fun, wasn't it? It was, the way we did it in the last couple of minutes. Everybody's probably said, that's it, we've blown it. And then before you know it, thought we was going to extra time, and we won it 2 seconds later.
I don't think that was one moment, but that's a very, very important moment in the last game we had before Christmas. We played Middlesbrough at home, and it was the only game in the whole period I was at Manchester United. So Alex wasn't there, and we seriously embarrassed ourselves and lost the game. And in the dressing room afterwards, we all sat there, we looked at each other as, we were really, really embarrassed, and we kind of agreed that we would not lose another game that season, that this was so bad. And we wouldn't let the manager down just because he wasn't there. You can't, stuff like that.
We're 25 years away from that period in time. It's crazy, I know. Can you remember anything about that 10-day period from last game of the season to the Champions League final?
Winning the league, Sunday, and I remember and we had a little gig after. Nothing too strenuous, we had a few drinks, obviously family and friends. Had a few drinks and that, and I think I'm not sure if the manager gave us Monday. I thought we were in on Monday. then we've gone out. We've gone out again. We've had a few drinks again, you know. But naturally, we was preparing ourselves for the cup final, and then we moved on to the cup final. You know, just thinking about basically winning the cup final.
That's a special cup final for you as well, obviously, isn't it?
Yeah, but playing against Newcastle, I was really looking forward to it. I mean, just I look forward to any game, and I remember obviously we go down, and then the manager, what he used to do Saturday morning, he used to get that dreaded knock on the door if you're playing or you wasn't playing. So time was running. I'm thinking to myself, oh yeah, I'm playing. Finally, I get a little knock on the door. It's the manager, and he said, right, Coley, this is what we're doing. You're coming off after like 70 minutes, whatever. So I said, all right. I said, no, I need to play 90 minutes, boss. He said, this is what we're going to do. You're either going to start or you're on the bench. Make your mind up. I'm like, oh, boss, I need to play 90 minutes. He said, that's what you're going to do. You're starting or you're on the bench. Simple as that. So I said, all right, then I'll start. So, I mean, team was there, started, you know, and I remember saying to Ruud Gullit many years after, because Ruud said to me, oh, yeah, I thought we did really well in Newcastle, you know, I thought we pushed you a little bit. And I remember saying to Ruud, we was in second gear. We didn't get going, you know. We were comfortable with you. I'm not sure Schmeichs had to make a save, or a save of any note. You know, we were so comfortable, and it was a good victory in the end, real good victory in the end.
And then you've got 3 or 4 days until the big one. Is it the big one? It's the big one.
Well, it was the opposite. I got the knock, and I had the dreaded knock. You know, it was one of those. I've never experienced that. You know, obviously, we had 4 outstanding strikers, and I know the manager was. I didn't know what he was thinking. I felt that I was going to be playing anyway because, you know, obviously that's what you think. You just never know. And so I got the knock from the gaffer, and I thought, where's he knocking my door for? I was the opposite because I didn't know about the dreaded knock. I thought the knock is a welcome knock, but this is the first time he's turned up on the door, and it's like he's come in and he's, you know, he's trying to sweet talk me in so many ways. I'm going, gaffer, just tell me what you come in to tell me. I don't understand why you're here in the first place, you know. And he just said, listen, I can't afford to not have you play in the final of the Champions League because of Kino and Scorsese are not going to be playing. I can't risk you getting injured. I mean, it's like I'm watching the gaffer. What is he going on about? You know, this is FA Cup. This is the competition I watch on TV for so many years. You want to be involved. I was absolutely devastated and gutted, but I understand where he was coming from. I didn't understand then, I have to be honest, but I understand where where his mindset was. And I would have loved to have played. I only got 20 minutes towards the end. Which is obviously amazing still because ultimately it's about the team. And then obviously he already said to me in the conversation that I was going to be playing in the final, and that was it. So it was kind of bittersweet, but really and truly I was devastated and gutted that I didn't play from the start.
I suppose in the back of your mind at least you can know that in a few days' time there's going to be a big game that you are going to be starting from.
Yeah, but to be quite honest, I thought I was going to be playing in all the games, to be fair. And that's not being arrogant or anything. I know that we have a rotation system in what we were doing there with the 4 strikers. But, you know, you come down to the nitty-gritty of the competition. You expect, you know, certainly I position myself to be picked. You're not guaranteed, but you think that way. And comfort in the fact that I was going to be playing in the final, but still disappointed I didn't start in the FA Cup.
And then on to the madness of the final itself. It all explodes into life in, I think, the 90th minute, is it? It
was just a mad week. The fact that we bought Concorde. You know, you forget that. The Concorde bit was the real excitement. I mean, this is like the creme de la creme, isn't it? Yeah. We got Concorde taking us to Barcelona, and that was it's a fancy sort of a takeoff.
How long of a trip is that?
It was less than 45 minutes, wasn't it?
Yeah,
it was, wasn't it? It was about 45 minutes. Yeah, it was mad. Honestly, it was like, you know, you're watching like, you know, fantasy. You know, these are things that you just dream as a kid growing up, and it was eventually happening. And we got Concorde, and we whizzed over London, and it's the pilot gives us a fancy sort of a takeoff, didn't he? It was like, you know, real like schoolboy stuff that was going on, but it was exciting and everyone was buzzing, obviously, coming off the back of, you know, winning the Premier League and obviously the FA Cup on the back of that. And we head to Barcelona. It's crazy stuff. That, I mean, honestly, it was like, wow, this is a whole nother level. And of course, we get to the game. Without saying, we know that we didn't play particularly great, but that's not the point. It was all about the results. And the thing that I learned from being in that team in my first year was never give in. And we had a winning mentality to push all the way. And I briefly remember the manager saying at halftime that, you know, we're not playing great, but the good news is that we only 1-0 down. And, you know, once it's 1-0 down, we're always in with a chance. And those were the words that stuck out to me in the end. But what happened at the end, you couldn't, you don't, that's fantasy stuff, that is. That's heartbreaking, certainly for Bayern. But obviously from our side, the ecstatic that was involved, the celebration after, during. I mean, I celebrated for about four weeks, I have to be honest, a little bit more maybe, but it was just a crazy. And those are memories that you can't, you know, sort of taken away. You made history. And history is something that, you know, is going to be there forever.
Can you remember that full-time whistle? When you watch the footage back now, can you remember it? Does it still give you goosebumps?
I'm just sitting there thinking, I can see Sammy now.
Yeah.
Sammy Kufur.
Yeah.
You know, when we got the second, he's on his knees banging the floor. And, I mean, like you said, the final whistle goes and just the celebrations. I mean, celebrations were absolutely wild anyway, but, you know, I can see it's just all now just sitting on the floor. I think it's about 6 or 8 just sat on the floor. And the European Cup's right in the middle. And we're all sitting there just having a convo. I mean, looking up at all the supporters and having a proper conversation, because I don't think it actually sunk in that what we actually achieved. And I think I've got that picture as well. We just sat on the floor just like, man, is this actually for real? Do you know what we just achieved? Nah, it's not real, this. It's not real. Like, it's the celebrations afterwards.
It's crazy.
Oh, man,
there was so much story behind it as well, wasn't it? I mean, they said they reckon they was going to engrave Bayern name on the trophy or something like that.
We're getting ready to do it.
And the fans are leaving and all sorts was going on because everyone thought we lost the game. And, you know, obviously the Bayern fans was celebrating and within a space of a minute or whatever it was.
Walking off and all of a sudden, like giving the trophy a little polish. And, I mean, I think that's why I've learned. Of course, we always learn in football, but I think when you do play football, you play at the highest level, you learn not to take liberties, you know, because you never know. I mean, as I say, it only takes a second. And in our season, that season, you know, that's exactly what it was. You know, Ollie gets to win it. It's like phenomenal. But people, I get asked this stupid question. Oh, you must have been so disappointed when Ollie got the win. I'm like, how the hell can you be disappointed? You know, me and Yorke had an unbelievable run that competition. Yeah. You know, not just that competition, that season. We were scoring goals for fun. You know, we were terrorising all the teams in Europe. So for the other two boys to score the winners in the Champions League final, I got a medal just like them, so it made no difference to me.
That's right.
You know, it's special.
Were there any players that you used to fear or coming up against thinking, I'm going to have it today, it's going to be tough?
I wouldn't sit here and say I feared any of them. I respected them, of course I respected them. You're one of my peers, you know, but I never went out there mentality thinking, oh, man, it's a tough one today, I might not. That's a defeatist attitude. You know, you can't go on to do your job if you've got an attitude whereby you're worrying about what someone else is possibly going to do. You know, so that was never me. I enjoyed the battle. I enjoyed playing against the best. Yeah, if I scored, I'd done my job. If I hadn't, they'd done their job. And that's the way I viewed it. So for me to sit here and say, I feared nobody. Just go do my job, go and enjoy it, you know, and do the best you can do.
What about you, Dwight?
Yeah, pretty much the same. I mean, when I was younger, I'd probably say that I had some maybe nightmares of playing against someone like Stuart Pearce back in the days when I was a right winger. He used to kick the lumps out of me, you know, Pearce, I remember that. But outside of that, you, as Coley touched on, you can't have such a mindset. Certainly playing at United, it defeats the purpose of being such a high level. And I don't think that's never a good fit when you I think respect is the word. You respect your peers, you respect the opposition, the players that you are, but you don't have those type of mindset going into game, because you're just starting off on the back foot. Really, you gotta believe in yourself. I think that's the most important thing. And when you play for the likes of United, if you're not believing in yourself, you're gonna get eaten up alive. And that was never the case. We were dominant. We know that teams were more worried about us rather than worrying about them.
The matches we came back, like you away, you came back.
Yeah, of course.
So it was just the confidence the whole team had, you know, just not like giving up.
It's definitely after the Arsenal semi-final, Villa Park replay. I think Schmeichel saving penalty.
Yes.
Then Roy getting sent off, and then unbelievable goal from Gibson. Celebration, hairy chest. And the celebration in the dressing room afterwards was, maybe everything's going our way. And our name is definitely on the FA Cup, but still a long way to go. But I think, for me, that was the moment that I thought, wow, we could go all the way.
Cole and Yorke, Yorke and Cole, the epitome of chemistry, you two. In the documentary, Andy says he doesn't know where it came from. I don't know where it came from. Still got any clue, you guys?
Not really. It just happened. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you meet people and you get on with them instantly. I know Coley from before, obviously, through his Newcastle days, and I admire him from my Villa days. Never thought for one moment we'll end up playing together at United. So I joined the club that year, and obviously the new guy on the block, so to speak. And I asked Sir Alex at the time what position he sees me as. And he sees me as a 9. I'm really not a 9. So that was a bit of a surprise to me, but because I can play 9, but I was never really a 9. And so he said, I'm seeing you playing right through the middle. And so I thought of Coley, obviously, as being there, and Teddy and Ollie, who was there at the football club. And I thought, well, this will be interesting, that kind of stuff. And there was lots of rumours that Coley was going to be leaving the club, and, you know, Ollie might have ended up going, Teddy. So there was lots of rumours going around. So my first 3 months, I would say, at the football club, I played with everybody bar Coley. I had, played with Ollie, I played with Teddy, I played with Giggsy, even up top, but never really Coley, so which was bizarre. The thing is, when I joined the club, often not like the current today's where you got liaison who can take you to find your houses and stuff. So Coley actually took his time out, and not that other guys didn't, but he went out his way and tell me the areas where to live and not to go to my side by myself and those type of things when I joined the football club. I find for someone who was linked heavily away from the club, go out his way and invite me into his home for dinner and make me feel really warm and welcoming in the areas and stuff. I thought that was quite remarkable, and people don't see that side of Coley.
Because some people could see that as a threat, a new player coming in.
Absolutely, and that wasn't the case. I felt very comfortable with what he was doing and introducing me to in and around Manchester, and our relationship has grown from that. In that period of time, I still hadn't played with him. And so, he could have taken the easy option because he was obviously a quality players and any team would have had it in the Premier League. But, credit to Coley, and it kind of epitomized what type of person he is without people knowing exactly the individual himself. And I get to see the other side of Coley. And, for me, our friendship grew off the pitch as well as on the pitch, although, as I said, we didn't. And that just got better and better every time. But he buys time. He could have actually taken that time and leave the football club, but he didn't. He stood his ground, and he knew his word that he can play in this team and get in this team on merit, because he's proven that time and time again before.
Is that how it was, Andy? You always had faith?
Yeah, look. Hey, the way I've grown up, you got to have it. I mean, nothing for me personally was handed to me on a plate. And yeah, I'll be very honest, and I have been honest. If Patrick Kluivert decided to come to Manchester United instead of going to Barcelona, I wouldn't have been at Manchester United. I think everybody knows that. Patrick decided, like I said, sign for Barcelona. Yorke touched on it there. Took him 3 months before we actually had a game together. And then from then, what you saw the first game against Southampton at the Odell that was it, basically it. We did no training together, i.e. on the same team or anything like that, because I think the manager didn't think there was ever going to be a partnership. That's why he's played everybody else. And I'm like, okay, last resort, give Coley a game with Yorke and see how it goes. And then, from the start of the season, 3 months in to where we ended up. What more can you say?
And I think what helps a relationship, you know, he's a proper 9. I consider him a very proper 9. When I say that, the likes of Alan Shearer, you know, I would say Robbie Fowler, you know, Michael Owen, those type of guys are number 9. Coley's in that bracket without a doubt. I'm more kind of a 10, link the player and still get up there and join in and score. And I think when you have that combination, particularly back in the days of the traditional 4-4-2 with wide players, one dropping in, one going long, Cody liked to spin on the shoulders or play on the shoulders of defenders. It was easy for me to come deep and then collect and then try to link it. But our relationship has grown so much off the pitch that really elevated us. So when we come to play, we knew that this was going to be special. We brought the same cars. People didn't realize we brought the same cars together. We had 2 cars each, and it was literally similar thing. At one stage, we were coming in kind of dressed in similar, without really without even talking to each other. And it got so confusing for some of the players. They used to call us, you know, Coley, shouting to me, Coley. I'm like, oh, yo. So it got even confusing in the end. But I mean, you would have never thought what we did that year that people would have expected. And, you know, defenders wasn't looking forward to playing against us, not with the support of our teammates, the quality that we had on both flanks in midfield. Defensively, we can defend 1v1 and arguably the best goalkeeper in British football in Schmeichel. So we were complete, you know, left back, Dennis Owen, you know, right back, Gary Neville. We had a complete set of players with Teddy and Ollie and Butty and other players who were coming in to really bring that competitiveness to the squad. So you know if you didn't perform or you underperformed, so to speak, that there was people ready chomping at the bits to take your place. So the level of consistency and the demand from the manager itself really elevated within the squad, and that's what it was. But in terms of both of us, you couldn't find a better chemistry, so to speak, that complement each other game, that fit into a system with the quality that we already had.
Andy, how do you look at the Premier League today? How do you think the role of a striker has changed to when you two were playing?
For me, it hasn't changed. Players might change, but role as a striker hasn't changed because the game has changed. Like I said, if you look at the modern day striker, there's not many, Yorke's touched on already, number 9s. And when there is a number 9, you know, people look at a number 9 as if like this one number 9's changed the game. It's not changed the game. He's just an individual that wants to run in the box 6, 8, 12 yards out and get tap-ins, you know. I look at this generation and try and say to myself, if I was playing now, I would sleep easy. 100% I'll sleep easy. Yeah, because you're not allowed to touch anyone, you know. Centre forwards get themselves in good positions. You just got to take your chances. So I wouldn't sit here and say the role's changed, because I don't believe the role has changed. You know, you just got to keep doing what he's doing previously. Just keep running the box, scoring goals.
If you two were playing in the Premier League still today, in your prime, in your pomp, you scoring 53 goals?
Together?
We'd probably score more, I think, because, I mean, I was a player that liked to front defenders up anyway. I like to push them back in the box. So knowing that the fact that any sort of contact these days is a pen. So I don't understand why people turn back when they actually front someone up in the box, because any sort of, okay, you might lose it, but if you got it wrong in the box, you're likely to get a pen. Football wasn't like that back in the days. It's got to be a deliberately penalty before you've been given, and even that there was a debate before they give it. And football was really tough. It was different in that sense. I don't think football is that tough in the sense of, from a physicality point of view, the contact is minimum these days as well. And so the game has changed. But the concept of how the game should be played is not any different to what we know. Traditionally, 20 years ago, it was a 4-4-2 system, right? Now everyone is playing 4-3-3 or 4-2-3-1 system, predominantly just one striker. I mean, Pep is probably trying to revolutionize the game in not playing with any type of strikers, and maybe that's why there's lack of number 9s, that outstanding number 9s. You used to be, I mean, a whole handful of number 9s that you can reel off. Exactly. Yeah. Now today, in the modern day game, there is not that many, and of course they play with inverted wingers as well. Traditionally, it's down the line, get the balls in, you get on the end of it, we both heading balls in goals, right? Shearer, feed off, that kind of stuff. You think about Shearer now, inverted strikers coming in on their favorite foot and taking shots on. He'd lose a plot, I'm sure he would. So the game has changed slightly in that way, and it's about, you know, structuring your team that benefit your players, where your strengths and weaknesses are.
Right, boys, brilliant. Thank you so much. We've got to go to the Premier. You ready?
Sounds good. Looking forward to it.
You mentioned earlier, Dwight, travelling on Concorde. Fantastic. I love that story, by the way. Can you remember much about the travelling? Because you would have been doing an awful lot of it. You think about it, you were always in the FA Cups, you were always in the League Cups, Champions League, you'd have a game every 3 or 4 days, always on the road in hotels.
Yeah. It never bothered me. I mean, I'm a single guy, so nothing bothers me. You know, we go to play football, okay, I just need to know where and what time we're going. And I was on the bus. Turn up late. Yeah, probably still trying to turn up late. I used to make a grand effort to try and turn up late for some reason. I don't know why. But yeah, it never really an issue. You know, being a single man, I suppose it's easy for me to just pack my bag and just go without having to say goodbye to anyone. I was just on a mission of just playing football, and it was very easy for me to do that. But yeah, I mean, in and out of hotels, you know, on planes, not as much planes as they probably travel in today's game, because we used to enjoy the bus rides. You know, that was a bit of a team bonding as well for us, wasn't it? Back in the days, a lot of cards and stuff was playing there to entertain. Yeah, I think Sky Sports was just about coming on the TV on the bus, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's when it worked. Yeah,
whenever it works. Yeah. So yeah, so that's basically what it was for me.
For me, it didn't bother me. Everything was a coach ride. We hardly got on the train. Yeah. Everything was on the coach, and by the time I got on the coach, I was on the coach for 20 minutes. I'm sleeping anyway, so
he's a
it made no difference to me. It made no difference. But yeah, Yorke touched on it there. A lot of bonding on the coach. Some of the banter.
Yeah.
Some of the banter was absolutely brutal on the coaches. But we loved it. We absolutely loved it. Right?
I think you'd hate it nowadays then, because all they do is just get on the phones.
They
just pull the phones out and that's it. You've lost them for whatever it is, 2-3 hours.
It's a difference, right? So it's a difference. That says. Yeah.
You see, when I first moved to Manchester United as well, you know, we was going on a away trip. I couldn't get my head around it. Like you're all dressed in your own tracksuits. Like whoever was sponsored by at the time, you know, you could just turn up in your own tracksuit. I'm like, I've never experienced this before. And naturally, match day, everyone was suited and booted. But no one ever made an issue about how you was travelling down to the game or whatever. And when I was at Newcastle, obviously, we always have the same tracksuit and whatever. But like I said, Saturday you turn up, suited and booted. And that's what I always enjoyed. Official. Yeah. We're going to work here, by the way. I mean,
come out in dapper looking in your best suit, right? Everyone was trying to outdo it in their suits and stuff.
Exactly. So straight away, people's mentality is, I mean, they mean business, you know, because you're suited and booted. That's what I loved about Manchester United. Everyone knew they mean business, by the way. Dressed like that on a Saturday afternoon, go play football.
There's a lot of mickey taking as well when they turned up looking dapper, or you come out with something a bit unusual. Rest assured, the likes of Maisie and them was ready to give you some stick on it, to be fair. You know you're going to get stick if you didn't turn up looking good, but
Maisie give anyone stick, man. Frightening in the dressing room, Maisie was.
It's great, though.
Right, come on, boys. We're good to go. Let's go. Great interview with the lads. Right, I am off inside to watch the first episode of the new 99 documentary, and you can watch it exclusively on Prime Video. And I promise you, it's belting.